Huge scandal. King Charles exposes Starmer in public as he stops the public from voting for him in the upcoming election. What is happening right now in British politics is nothing short of a scandal. And it's not just any scandal, it could be the defining moment for the future of the nation. What we are witnessing is an unprecedented political crisis, one that could reshape the entire landscape of the UK. Stay tuned because things are about to get even more intense. In case you haven't heard, Labour leader Keir Starmer's recent move has sent shockwaves across the country. Labour has officially cancelled local elections. Yes, you read that right. Instead of allowing the British public to have their democratic say, Starmer's government has decided that elections simply won't happen. The public is in an uproar, calling this a blatant attack on democracy. And it's not just ordinary citizens who are furious. King Charles himself is said to be deeply angered by this shocking decision. Even Nigel Farage is warning that Labour is no longer acting like a government, it's behaving like a dictatorship. Local elections are a cornerstone of British democracy. They allow people to hold politicians accountable, elect local representatives, and have a say in how their towns and cities are governed. These elections are crucial. They impact local councils, mayors, and regional governments, which influence everything from public transport to housing, education, and social services. But Labour has just stripped this right away from millions of voters. The government claims the cancellation is due to administrative reasons and political restructuring. But let's be honest, the real reason is far more sinister. Labour is terrified of losing power. For months, polls have shown that Labour's support is crumbling. The public is fed up with high taxes, uncontrolled immigration, rising crime, and an ongoing cost of living crisis that shows no signs of improving. On top of that, another big problem for Labour is the rise of Reform UK. Nigel Farage's party, once dismissed as just a movement, has been gaining massive support from working-class voters. Farage has been hammering Labour over its failure to control immigration, weak economic policies, and growing disconnect from the average British citizen. The truth is, Labour knows that if these elections went ahead, they would suffer devastating losses. So instead of taking that risk, they've simply erased the election altogether. This is not just a political strategy, it's a direct attack on democracy. It's an admission that Labour doesn't believe in fair elections when the results might not go in their favour. People across the UK are furious, and protests have already broken out in several cities. Demonstrators are demanding that the elections be reinstated immediately. But Labour is doubling down. Instead of addressing the public's concerns, they are pushing forward with their authoritarian-style governance and refusing to acknowledge the backlash. However, they weren't expecting one major player to step in. King Charles III. Traditionally, the monarchy has stayed out of politics. The king is supposed to be a neutral figure, a symbol of stability and continuity for Britain. But what happens when a government becomes so reckless, so undemocratic, that even the king himself can't stay silent? That's exactly what's happening now. Sources close to Buckingham Palace suggest that King Charles III is furious over Labour's decision to cancel the local elections. He sees it as a direct threat to Britain's democratic values that the monarchy has upheld for centuries. Even though the king has limited political power, his voice carries enormous weight. The British monarchy has historically been a guardian of stability, ensuring the country doesn't fall into political chaos. But now, with Starmer making increasingly authoritarian decisions, Charles is deeply concerned. Sources indicate that Charles has privately questioned Labour's reasoning for cancelling the elections, demanding answers from the government about how such a move serves the British people. This is not a small issue. The last time a British monarch openly clashed with a government on a political issue was in the early 20th century. If Charles takes further action, it could trigger one of the most serious institutional crises in modern British history.